Soundarya Lahari Sloka number 54. Pavithreekarthum Naha Pashupathiparaadheenahrudaye. Pavithreekarthum Naha Pashupathiparaadheenahrudaye. Dayamitrair netrair णधवलश्यामरुचिभिः नदशोणो गंगा तपनतनयेति ध्रुवममुं त्रयाणां तीर्थानाम् उपनयति सम्भेदमनघम् नदशोणो गंगा तपनतनयेति ध्रुवममुं त्रयाणां तीर्थानाम् upanayasi Sambhedamanagham. Here in this sloka is again meditation on the three eyes of Devi. But the main theme of this sloka is Pavithreekarthum Naha. You divinize us. Devi has a tendency to divinize us. By what? There are two solutions given here. One is Pashupathiparaadheenahrudaye, by surrendering to the great Lord Pashupati. That is the first intervention we have to do if we have to get purified or divinized. The second thing is to take holy dip in the Triveni Sangam. The Triveni Sangam is not the physical Triveni Sangam at the Prayaga of Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati. She wants us, the Acharya wants us to take a dip in the Triveni Sangam, which are represented by the three eyes of Devi, because the right eye represents the Shona, that is the right river, right eye, Shona river, which is red in color. Then Ganga, which is blue in color, and the one which we don't see, Saraswati underlying, is supposed to be white in color. All these three eyes are there. The confluence of them is at the Ajna Chakra. The Ajna Chakra also is the confluence of three nadis. Ida represented by Shona, Pingala represented by Ganga, and Sushumna represented by Saraswati. So in other words, when you take a dip in the Ajna Chakra, there are techniques in the Kriya Yoga wherein you take the breath from the Mooladhara along with a mantra, go up to Ajna Chakra and meditate there and then come back. That is called the holy dip in the confluence of the Prayaga, the spiritual Prayaga, which is there in our Ajna Chakra. So there are these two interventions are given to us. Dayamitrair netrair णधवलश्याम ruchibhihi. Aruna is red, Shona is in the red, and Ganga is dhavala, white, and the Saraswati is blue, which is there as an undercurrent. You don't see it on this one. This we see it in the Triveni Sangam at the Prayagraj. So let us go deep into the meaning. Only through surrender does union take place. Surrender thus becomes the highest achievement of man. This form of surrender is different to what we experience in day to day relationships, where the son surrenders to father, orders, or the wife surrenders to the husband dictates. Surrender in this way may be out of fear or helplessness because one has no other option. The basis of that surrender is through the mind, and therefore union does not take place. Instead, there is often strife and disharmony due to this form of physical surrender we see in day to day life, which is driven by fear. However, this does not undermine its importance, for this type of mental surrender is the training ground for the higher type of surrender, which is accomplished through the heart. Only by the constant surrender in daily life does one surrender to Devi takes place in Anahat Chakra, the heart center, which is the resting place of Lord Shiva, Pashupati. The consequence of this surrender is the experience of compassion or universal love, which is the quality of Anahata Chakra. As the awakening stabilizes in Anahata, the aspirant experiences universal love, compassion, and mercy for all beings. Usually, it is imagined that the surrender is for the weak and helpless, and that a strong, courageous person has no need to surrender. But here, the mighty Devi, who commands the entire creation, in front of whom all Devas and Ishvaras stand with their heads bowed in obeisance, also surrenders her heart to someone. Her surrender is not out of weakness but pure unconditional love. She does not need anything from anyone, yet she surrenders. That is the highest ideal of surrender. One should reassess the idea of surrender because true surrender is not for the weak minded but for those who have a strong character and high standards and values. Devi surrenders to Shiva out of her immense, untainted, and pure love and compassion. The aspirant should try to generate this type of surrender, for it will lead us to the higher experience. That is what is stated in the first line. Pavithreekarthum Naha Pashupathiparaadheenahrudaye. This compassion further awakens the third eye of the Jnana in the Ajna Chakra, which is the confluence of Ida, Pingala, and Sushamna, symbolized here as Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati. Though the simple but at the same time most difficult act of surrender, the aspirant is presented a higher experience of transcendental knowledge by the awakening of the Guru Tattva at Ajna Chakra. This experience is most purifying and is compared to the sanctifying dip at the confluence of the three holy rivers, Triveni Sangam at Prayagraj. The convergence of the three holy rivers, Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati at Prayagraj, represents the merging of Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna at the eyebrow center, or the third eye, or the Ajna Chakra. Ganga represents Pingala, or the right eye, Yamuna, Ida, or the left eye. Saraswati represents Sushumna, the third eye at the eyebrow center, which is the sacred Tirtha of Prayag. This Tirtha, situated on the Ganga near Allahabad, is the famous site for the Kumbh Mela, which is held every 12 years, and there at the confluence of the three sacred rivers. This Mela occurs during certain astrological constellations which charge the water in that area with purifying and rejuvenating vibrations. A bath at Prayag during that period can absolve one of the karma of many lifetimes, instantaneously removing the obstacles and difficulties one may have been facing on account of those unknown karmas. The Kumbh Mela is an ancient tradition which has continued over 1,000 years. Millions of people throng there for a bath at the confluence, even in the 21st century. The Kumbha is an experience of faith in motion. Several disbelievers go have a holy dip and come back transformed as believers. The event of Kumbha represents the experience of Adi Shankara as he beholds the eyes of Devi. This mandala of Devi confers friendship and compassion in the heart of the devotee. Even the sternest person softens if Devi's glance falls on him with her three eyes emitting rays through the confluence of the third eye, just as when Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati converge at Prayaga. A bath at Prayaga removes all the dross of many lives. Similarly, a glance of Devi from her three eyes are like a Tirtha, Thrayaanaaam, Theerthaanaaam, emitting equal rays of white, red, and blue frequencies, can remove all obstacles and purify one totally. A glance from her eyes can also rejuvenate one, as the frequencies of these rays that she emits are full of Amrita, the nectar of immortality. The elevated state of awareness, where the consciousness transcends the three gunas and enters the realm of Shuddha Vidya, pure knowledge, composed of Shuddha Tattvas, pure elements, is what Shankara is describing in this mantra. This state of awareness can be attained by mere glance of Devi with her three eyes. Meditation on this mandala, the picture, focusing on the eyes of Devi Shambhavi, is most beneficial for purifying and rejuvenation.